So before I ask my series of questions, at some point during one of our task force meetings, obviously I'd like to, as is indicated, dedicate a meeting towards the affordable housing and making sure that it's consistent with the agreement that was worked out with State Farm. Another task force on the CBA, the status of the CBA and enforcement of the CBA. Where are we with respect to WMBEs? And at that meeting, also a discussion with regards to a number of small businesses have reached out. They were interested in trying to get space in the center or somewhere in the plan to take advantage of all of the activity. I would like to participate in that meeting. I'm sure. Yes. Yes. Okay. And then.
And just when we have the meeting about affordable housing,
yes,
we should make sure, Bertha, that you're
yes,
part of that, and that your
definitely.
team is here, and your whole team. Absolutely. And
yes.
we'll make sure we work with your schedule on that.
Another meeting with respect to just parking overall. I know, Mary, at one time you and I had a discussion, and there was going to be a consultant hired or someone to navigate all the parking in the area.
So Sam Schwartz, the gentleman I mentioned,
okay.
That will be the gentleman that we work very closely with. That's his expertise. Yes, we hired him, and now we're not ready to talk specifics. We're working hard. I expect to come back to you more detail on the coming months.
And obviously that will tie in well with the efforts that I have been pushing, and that is for the possibility of residential parking permits, perhaps during game night or some aspect of it, and a discussion with respect to one of your thoughts, which was HOV, and I find that interesting, and that's something that I want to explore further. And I also want to talk at some point about security, another meeting about security, and last but not least, there's been some discussions, and I had a discussion with Bruce Bender with respect to access, young people hanging out, which, obviously I was concerned about making sure that the Atlantic Mall was open to all young people. I know that we've had some issues, but for me, the issue is not, closing the door to young people and just providing more security at the mall, which we can have a discussion at a later point. So let me just first begin with the church on Dean Street. As you know, I have asked that we provide parking to the members of, I think it's called Refuge Church of God in Christ on Dean Street, which has caused a problem. One, for FDNY, there was an emergency on Dean Street one Sunday, and the fire trucks unfortunately could not get down Dean Street because of the double and triple parking of the members of the church. And so the question is, what, if anything, can Atlantic Yards do to address that, provide parking for the members of that church? And I don't know if we've come to any resolution as of right now, because for me it's safety and access.
Sure. So can we look for the 11 slide? So I was on the site yesterday, walked around, and looked at some of the possibilities, and then spoke with Bob Tanner about what's realistic. I think that this is a Sunday issue. I know it's also a Friday evening issue. We're not going to get into that. But on a Sunday issue, we would like to try to find a way to provide the church with the parking with several important conditions. It has to be in a licensed kind of agreement on month to month, because we ultimately will have lots of construction workers parking there, so they're going to handle a lot of perpetuity. But for the here and now, it seems that when you walk the site, there are available spaces, and there likely will be available spaces on Sunday. So with the understanding that it's temporary, it has to be an arrangement that we go into directly with the church, because there are issues of liability,
right,
and indemnification. But we are predisposed to trying to work it out. On the Sunday situation, there's obviously issues of security and access for how the church gets into the lot to make sure that it doesn't become available to those not intended to serve. So I think we have to work through logistics. But I'm here to say to you that we want to try to be helpful. We think that there's at least a temporary solution there, as long as the guidelines are adhered to. I think we should come off on it, talk about that, and try to figure out if we can have a meeting.
And I appreciate that.
And I think Scott and Alfred actually are open to working on this actually pretty daily and try to come to some resolution on it.
I appreciate that. And it's also my understanding that there is some parking, and correct me if I'm wrong, some parking in the Newswalk building that perhaps we could utilize or subsidize my office, and perhaps a contribution from FCR at some point.
I don't know if we're aware of what is available in Newswalk.
Okay. is, Pacific Street between Vanderbilt and Sixth. Is that a truck route?
Over the map.
Well, between Vanderbilt and truck route.
Yeah, Pacific Street between Vanderbilt and Sixth.
Okay. Pacific Street between Carlton and Vanderbilt is not public street anymore, it's part of the staging area.
Okay.
The only way for Bob Santa to get from this site where we're staging to this site is on Pacific Street in front of the new block building, which is why we have a dispatcher here and a dispatcher here. The trucks use the truck routes to get to this staging area, and then they have to go down Pacific Street to get to the site because it's one way westbound. So the truck route rules require trucks to use truck routes whenever possible, but it doesn't prohibit them from using other streets in order to get to the site. Right now, the